Meyer is founder and CEO of FutureYou Executive Recruitment for his insights. Welcome. This shift, this is a trend. I mean, let's just be brutal about it. It's all about the part-time kind of hedge your bets mentality pervading. What do you see, therefore, in the positions? Where is the greatest demand that you're trying to deliver on?
Yeah, so look, it's, I think, Carson, the flexibility aspect in the employment market for talent, it's something you and I have spoken about a couple of times in the past, and I think it's really a theme that's continuing in Australia. You know, people looking for greater flexibility in terms of how they plug and play, and you could apply that in the blue collar or the junior end of the white collar professional market, and in the space that we concentrate on at the mid to senior end, we're seeing it unfold as well.
Simon, we've seen from the National Australia Bank intentions to employ survey showing businesses have had the intention, or that's been increasing for some time. The Seek.com Job Ads Index has been showing up that businesses have actually been advertising, and yet the employment data is not really showing that, particularly on the permanent job front. Why is that?
Yeah, there's always, I mean, I think really important to remember with recruitment processes, the average, when we're recruiting an assignment between 150 and 300k, it's an 8 to 12 week process. So what you see in the job ad data is really the beginning of that exercise commencing. What you see in the stats is probably the result 3 or 4 months down the track. So there is a little bit of a lag between ABS and the job ads. The job ads really give us the lead indicator. The ABS stats tell us, you know, where we are right now. So it's important to sort of, you know, keep that distinction in mind.
In your business, are you seeing a slowdown in and around the election? Is that a factor at play? Are companies holding off until they get certainty, until it's got the government benches?
Yeah, it's a really, really good question. Now, I'm a 20-year veteran in the executive recruitment space in Sydney and Melbourne, and usually I would answer that question with a yes. This is a very unusual election, though. It's not derailing business in terms of their talent decisions, and I haven't seen that before. You know, like it's not really registering as a slowdown. We would typically see an election moving us into a talent phase, which is akin to our seasonal downtime over December, January, where a lot of our hiring decision makers are not around. But we're not seeing that at the moment. It's business as usual, and that's actually good news if you're seeking a role, you know, at the mid to top end of the marketplace.
Simon, so in the segment that you're operating in, can you give us some sense of what sectors are seeing big demand for you know, executives and middle management that you're obviously operating in?
Yeah, two things there. I think New South Wales is really powering talent in the Australian market. So Sydney as a talent market is hot at the moment. Melbourne not far behind. Perth and Brisbane are different stories. You know, it's a tougher position over there when you're looking for a new opportunity. And the sectors that are driving things, particularly in New South Wales, it really centre around infrastructure, development of commercial property, development of residential property, the impact that the New South Wales government continues to have in terms of their spend, and any service provision that hangs off those areas. You know, that's hot. I've commented before around retail, you know, and retail on the top line doesn't look so good, but there is some entrepreneurial things unfolding just below the surface. But it's interesting to note in the last month there's been a couple of assignments that we expected to come online with international backing, and the organisations behind those have actually just pulled back a little bit. And you know, if you think about it, it could be what's going on in the UK. You know, in terms of the EU debate, just slowing decision making around expansion in this part of the world.
Is there impetus in terms of the customers you're getting in wanting new labour? Is it coming from mainly Australian companies, or is it coming from offshore companies looking to come in here now we've got a currency realignment?
Yeah, I think the international players are interested in expansion in this market. It tends to produce a pretty stable return. And you know, they're interested in you know, trying to extract more out of markets like Sydney and Melbourne. But a lot of our action so far in 2016 has been in the SME space, and it's usually driven by a senior professional in a larger corporate environment, often ASX listed, making a decision to do something that's more entrepreneurial. And we continue to see private equity playing a part in terms of capital raising. to allow a talented Australian to get out into the market and take on a more mature sector. So that SME space is really fueling the talent market at the moment, which is great.
Brief final thoughts, noting that the full-time employment in WA down now 17 months in a row. That matches the previous record set in the 1990-91 recession.
Yeah.
And that was a fall of some 5.9%. We're down currently 4.25% so far. So we're on track to match that. Unlike, though, the bounce off that position, what is likely to be the situation this time around in the West?
Yeah, Carson, it's a long drought over there. You know, it is a market that's very used to going up and down.
Because you say drought, people have said Main Street's like a morgue, which is more accurate.
Yeah, look, it's a strong word, but you know, unfortunately in WA, it is really tough going over there from a talent perspective, and it's quite a big disparity between the east and the west at the moment. So a lot of inquiry to us from a senior candidate perspective in terms of, are there opportunities in Sydney or Melbourne that I could be considered for? So a lot of people, you know, really thinking about relocation and moving out of that market, despite, you know, really enjoying living over there. So that's a trend that I think will unfold in WA. Unfortunately, is possibly a talent drain.
Well, and just noticing, as an end note to that, the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry puts out a release today. If you wanted an alternate position, the number of apprentices and trainees down 11.8% last year compared to 2014. So those are the ones in line for the Maseratis, because when you can name your price to change a lock on a door, you're sitting pretty, are you not? Simon, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No problem. Nice to be with you guys. Thanks.